Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? It's so easy with Anchor.
Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use.
And now, Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you can get paid to podcast right away. In fact, that's what we're doing right now by reading this ad. We struggled to find the right way to distribute our podcast, and Anchor made it quick, easy, and free. We're on platforms we had never heard of, and that's all thanks to Anchor doing the hard work.
So, if you have been thinking about starting your own podcast, head on over to anchor.fm/start. That's anchor.fm/start.
Welcome back to Spilling the Mad Tea. We're so glad you can join us today for our unbirthday party where we're going to be dishing on all things Disney. I'm Kelly, and I'm joined today by Katie, Stephanie, and Rachel. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to get your Disney fix when you can't visit the parks, something I'm all too familiar with. Living in Arizona, I sometimes feel like I might as well be on the other side of the planet from Walt Disney World. Sure, Disneyland is a 6-hour drive for me, but Walt Disney World is where I grew up vacationing and where I have so many wonderful memories with friends and family. It's my home, and it's my preferred Disney park. I'm going to start our list with one of my absolute favorite ways to help keep away the Disney park blues, which is Disney scents. Within the past couple years, I have just become obsessed with finding Disney wax melts on Disney wax melts on Etsy.
That's a mouthful.
Finding like Disney wax melts and different Disney scents on Etsy and like other small shops to just make my entire house smell like Soarin' or like the lobby of the Grand Floridian. It's become like one of my favorite things, and I've become a bit of a connoisseur of Disney scents. I think scent is like one of the strongest things that could bring back like the strongest memories, and just being able to smell that kind of puts me in that place in the parks.
I wasn't sold on that until I smelled yours at your house.
Yes.
And now I'm like, I
Right.
need them all.
You have so many.
I think so. For our listeners, we all just spent like a week out staying with Kelly and her husband in Arizona. And during some living room decorations or like moving furniture around, like a drawer opened up and like a few dozen wax melts poured out. And Kelly's husband, like, apparently had no idea these were here. I was like, what are those? He goes, I didn't know we had all those. It was so funny. Like, I could replay it in my mind a million. It was so
I have
funny.
a problem, but it's a wonderful problem. My house smells like Disney most of the time.
Yeah, your house does smell really good.
And like, as far as addictions, you have a really healthy addiction.
Right, that's true.
I mean, I can think of much worse things.
For you to be like hiding in a drawer. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Like, I don't go get my hair done. I don't do manicures or pedicures. Like, just give me my Disney wax melts. That's all I need.
Do you have like some favorites, like some of like your favorite scents? Like, if they happen to go missing, which ones would you be real pissed were gone?
So my original like set that I ordered was, I can't remember who I ordered it from, but it was on Etsy, and there was a Haunted Mansion one, a Soarin' one, and a couple other, I can't remember. But the company that I ordered them from like doesn't exist anymore, and they made my favorite Haunted Mansion scent. So that is like my sacred one that I don't really use anymore. I just like go and sniff it whenever I need to smell it. Because like I can't, yeah, exactly. Like I can't get it anymore. So
Just
like
sniff it
I
to
don't
get my
use
fix.
it, but it's like my favorite one. So which also leads me to, when I do buy like my Disney scents, I try a Haunted Mansion scent from every like company that I've ordered from, because I want to find one that matches that one. And so far I haven't. So that's pretty sad.
So for those of you out there whipping up your own blend of Haunted Mansion wax melts, Kelly has a pretty good sample and can determine if yours is the best. So if you want to mail her one, yeah, email us for her address.
Send her a sample.
But like scent is so important. Like when I go on like in like big trips, like I went to Hawaii in the end of January this year, and I only used a certain perfume on that trip. So now anytime I smell that perfume, like I'm instantly back in Hawaii. So like that's kind of the thought process behind like all the Disney scents for me, is that like when I smell them, I'm back in that
Oh,
place.
that's cool.
My mom and I always try to find things that smell like the Polynesian. So anytime we are out and about and we find a scent or a candle or a perfume or whatever that kind of smells like the Polynesian lobby, we'll buy it for each other and like put it in our stockings for Christmas.
I have one for the Pop Century lobby, which smells amazing. And then I also have one that's not necessarily like a scent you can go smell in Disney. It's kind of like a Disney inspired, and it's called like Walt's Office. And it's like
Ooh.
tobacco and vanilla, and like it's really good. And I have that one actually in my office since I work at home, and it's like all ties that together.
Oh, it's Kelly in Walt's office.
Oh, that's such a good idea. That's so cool.
My current favorite Etsy shop to buy Disney scents from is, I think it's called Three Cheeky Chicks, and they're based in Georgia. But they do really good scents, and like their prices are really good too. So
Huh. 3 cheeky chicks. Okay. I'm writing that down.
I feel like that's what's been holding me back from like investing in these scents is like some of them are like kind of expensive. And I'm like, I don't know if I can order like something online that I haven't gotten to smell.
they have this thing where you can order, like you can pick 4 scents for like $18. That's not that bad.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
not
get
bad at
like
all.
4, and the trays are like the six cube trays.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah. And everything that they've made is really good. They have some that are like matches Disney scents, and then they have some that are just like inspired by Disney things.
Do they make the Walt's Office one?
No, the Walt's Office one I ordered from, I think, Wedway Candle Company or something like that.
I've seen that one online. Yeah.
Yeah. I liked they had some hit or misses. Like I liked the Walt's Office one, and they also did the Pop Century one, but I think the other two that I ordered from them, I can't remember which ones they were, but they were not my favorite. But
Gotcha.
scent is such like a, is it subjective or objective thing? Like it smells,
Subjective,
yeah, it smells different to everyone. So what
Yeah.
I don't really enjoy, I think they had a pirate water one to match like the Pirates of the Caribbean, and I was not a fan of that one, but somebody else might love it. So
Very
yeah.
true.
So then we also have watching YouTube videos of rides or shows, which to me, this could go either way. It could make me feel good or make me feel absolutely terrible. So that's kind of like a balancing thing of like, should I watch somebody walking down Main Street, or will it just destroy my entire day?
Yeah.
They make me feel terrible.
I used
Every
to
time.
be able to do this a lot. Like I think right after our program and I went back to college, like I would do this all the time in my dorm room and be like, well, if I wasn't in my dorm room today, I would be on Main Street. And then I'd watch like a Main Street video and be like, then I'd hang a left and go to Adventureland. And then I'd watch like an Adventureland video and basically like virtually walk through the parks.
Yes.
But now it makes me really sad. Yeah.
I think because I do those the name tags, the Disney College program, like alumni name tags.
Mhm.
Like sometimes I have to go watch attractions or like watch walkthroughs of resorts, and it's just like it depends on my mood and like how I'm feeling that day. Because some days I just start crying, and other days I'm like, this is fine. So it's that perfect storm of what's gonna happen when I watch this.
Do you want to explain to our listeners what Disney alumni name tags you're talking about?
Sure. So I have an Etsy shop, Thistle and Dough Company. Shout out to myself. Um, and the four of us also celebrate like our friendiversary every year, like the day that we met before we started our college program, which was June 6th, 2011. So like every time of the year that rolls around, like we do a gift for each other. And I think 2 years ago was actually the first year that we started doing this. So not every year. I just lied about that. But 2 years ago, we were like, yeah, let's start doing this because we wanted an excuse to give each other gifts, basically. Yeah.
We're all really good at our Secret Santa, so we
Yeah.
needed another excuse.
Yeah. And so I was like trying to think of something that I could make for everybody, because I pretty much make all of my gifts Like I said, I own a shop on Etsy where I sell my art and stuff like that. And I found these like random wooden oval plaques that I had in my little stash of stuff I can paint on. And I picked it out and I was like, name tags, because I have a little picture frame with my actual name tag in it. So what I do, long story short, which is too late because this is already a long story, I basically take like the cast member name tag and change it out to the name of whoever. Like mine said, or I didn't actually make myself one. Katie said Katie, and then like our apartment number, because that was always really important to us. And then at the top where like the castle is on the actual name tag, I put like the logo of where she worked, which was Cosmic Rays. And then I kind of decorate around the actual like white name tag part with things from that location, and I have them on my Etsy shop.
And we'll post some of those on Instagram so you guys can take a look at them.
Yeah, because Kelly's pretty humble, but like these are amazing. Like the amount of detail and like some of the images she makes are so tiny. I don't even know where you found it, like paintbrush to paint that small. Like they're so good. Mine is for Lanuba, the Cirque du Soleil show in downtown Disney, and it's like one of my most treasured possessions. Like it's so cool. So definitely like check out Kelly's Thistle and Dough shop on Etsy and her Instagram and Facebook to see some of these. Kelly's made a lot of these for current and former cast members, and they're amazing. They're like personalized to each person and each work location, and the like details and like magic she adds to each of them is really awesome. And I know like I don't know if they of course I don't know if they help you beat like the Disney blues to make them, but I'm sure that they're helping the recipients like beat the Disney blues. Like I know when I look over at mine on my bookshelf, I like am only touched by like fond memories I have of like our friendship and my time working there. So
yeah, that's very nice. Yeah, my most recent one that I did was for Finding Nemo the musical, and this was one that was painted on the front and the back. I have several like pricing options and stuff, and it was so much fun. Like I definitely cried watching Finding Nemo the musical, which I would do if I was there, but this time it was like the tears because of the musical and the tears because I wasn't there. And yeah, that was not a fun time to watch the video, but the name tag turned out cute, so
yes, it did.
I guess that was worth it in the end.
I can never watch that live without crying like a little baby. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It just gets to me.
And the songs are just so catchy, right? I have that line stuck in my head for like the rest of the day anytime I see that show.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, what line is that,
Stephanie? But like only that line really. It's just like playing over and over and over. And it's a really weird line to have stuck in your head. Especially like if you had yourself like singing it out loud and people around you going like, what? It's okay. Good show.
Yeah.
Good show.
Totally agree. Rachel, we haven't heard from you. What's your opinion
on Nemo?
On just YouTube videos of rides and shows.
Oh God, it's a whirlwind when you get stuck into those. I love when I'll watch World of Color several times, and oh God, it's emotional. But yeah, that's my favorite one to watch for sure is World of Color because it was amazing.
Yeah, I've only seen that once because once again, it wasn't running when I went to Disneyland in May.
Are you bitter?
No, not at all.
That sounded really sincere.
So then another way that we have put down is to do Disney movie marathons.
Oh yeah, I do that a lot.
Those are good all the time.
Kelly does these like every day, right?
Yeah, I don't think anybody marathons quite like Kelly.
Yeah, because I work from home and I have a VHS player and like quite a collection of Disney VHS. Like that's what I have on. Yeah, I have them all rainbow. They're like placed out in rainbow order. So
nice. I love that.
Yeah, so when I'm just working, I just have Disney movies on in the background.
That's why her stuff's so magical.
One of us will bring up like, oh, like just make like a reference to a Disney movie, and I'll be like, oh, I haven't seen that in like years. And it's like, yeah, I saw that when I was like a little kid. Kelly's like, oh, I saw that yesterday. Oh, I saw that last week. Oh, like it's always like, oh, I saw that a couple weeks ago. Like it's never more than a couple of weeks ago. Like,
Yep. That's true.
yeah, I'm always really jealous of how frequently you get to watch movies.
My favorite to kind of like binge watch, like I could watch it over and over again, is Sleeping Beauty, because the artwork in that is just so gorgeous. And like I never appreciated it or really even watched that movie when I was like younger, but now I'm just like, this is the best, just because the artwork is gorgeous.
It's been so long since I've seen any of the classic Disney movies.
I watched Lion King recently. It was on. I watch a lot of my movies on Freeform. Like they'll have the weekends. They like play Disney movies from like 11 to freaking midnight. Like, and they're different ones, and a lot of the time they're ones that I don't own, so I don't see, and so it's really nice to have that option to watch them. It's pretty much every weekend.
Do you guys have like a go-to? Like I know I'll do like Disney movie marathons when I like don't feel good, am I like sick in bed, or when like my niece and nephew are over, and I'm like, I need to introduce you to some of these classics. You guys have like go-to like Disney movies, like favorite ones that you can watch like over and over and over again?
Ratatouille.
Oh yes, Ratatouille.
I've only seen Ratatouille once.
Yeah, me too.
And it didn't leave that good of an like. I didn't like dislike it, but I didn't like fall in love with it. So maybe I just need to watch it again.
It's one of my very favorites.
And it's long too. It's long, but it holds my attention the entire time.
Yeah, I just go to Sleeping Beauty for the reasons I mentioned earlier. And then I'm like looking at my VHSs right now, like trying to pick out which ones.
Like which ones are used
there's
most?
certain VHS that have like a behind the scenes kind of thing at the end where they talk about the artwork and all that kind of stuff. Bambi is another one that I could watch, which is another movie that I didn't watch really until I was like the age I am now. Like I probably started watching it last year, and like I had never watched it as a kid, but it has like a little behind the scenes thing at the end of the VHS. So like Bambi and Sleeping Beauty are definitely up there.
I don't know that I've ever watched Bambi all the way through. Like I think I've probably seen it all in bits and pieces, but I don't think I've ever watched it from beginning to end.
Again, I like it because of the art that's in it. Like the art of it is gorgeous. So
I think a movie that started out with a dead animal mom never really sat well with me.
Right. It's like traumatizing from the beginning.
Yeah. The Zookeeper me was like, what?
Yeah, I just love, this may sound weird, I love the sound and like the feel of putting a VHS in the VHS player. Like it's like instant childhood back again.
That's so true.
Yeah.
You know what I like? I know they're not Disney, but the orange Nickelodeon VHSs are instant childhood.
I had a Double Dare one of those. Not that it's relevant.
Rugrats, the movie.
I was just about to say Rugrats.
And like, did you guys ever listen to the Disney sing-along songs VHSs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
With the little owl.
Yes. Yeah, and then there's like the one in Disneyland. When I was little, I watched the Grim Grinning Ghost section of that tape, because I think it's called Disneyland Fun is like the name of the sing-along songs. I watched the Grim Grinning Ghost section. Like, that was my favorite part in the entire thing. With like the trees and like Donald Duck dressed up as a ghost, and there's Maleficent and Captain Hook like running around like the Haunted Mansion in Disneyland, and it's fantastic.
You know what I just realized? When we went to Disney for the very first time in what was it, 96, Rachel? They sent us like a vacation planning CD-ROM, and you put it in your computer, and you could like take a virtual tour of the Magic Kingdom. And you could like click on different things. And I mean, it wasn't really a game. You just clicked on things and it would do stuff. And you could go to the Haunted Mansion and click on like a gravestone, and one of the ghosts would pop up and all kinds of different stuff. When we got back from our trip, I was so sad that we couldn't go to Disney like all the time. I would literally come home from school and just play that CD-ROM and like go to every little thing that you could click on. And then I'd be like, okay, I'm happy. And then go have dinner.
It's like our version of today doing it on YouTube. You could do it on your old
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Did you guys have any other like games that you would play to beat the Disney Blue, even like as a kid or as an adult?
I got really into
I play games, yes.
oh gosh, what's the Disneyland Adventures for the Kinect? You can like actually walk around Disneyland. I mean, it's not as good because it's
Yeah, that
Disneyland
was
and
fun.
not Disney World, but you walk around Disneyland and you like play, you like do all the rides or like games. And since it's the Kinect, you're like up and moving and active.
That's cool.
That was really fun. Cameron got me that a couple years ago for Christmas, and it was awesome.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, that was fun. That was really fun when we played that a lot.
Yeah, it's super
We
fun.
played it a lot. We
Duffy
played
is
it a
on there
lot.
too, so it's like the only place you can still see Duffy in a Disney park.
Yeah, I see that game really
Yes.
frequently at our like it's like our game book exchange kind of store where you can go exchange games and books and stuff like that. Obviously, I see that all the time, and I'm like, oh, I wish I had that. We don't have that game console, so I'm like, I like really want that just so I can play that game.
Yeah,
It is so
we already had
fun.
an Xbox, but I bought the Kinect just for that game.
That's reasonable.
Gotta do what you gotta
Yeah, it
do.
was worth it. Gotta be the Disney Blues somehow.
Right.
So in another kind of memory lane way of beating the Disney blues, so from movie marathons to looking at old pictures and videos, which can hurt just as much as watching those YouTube videos of rides and things, especially pictures from our college program. Like I have an album of them, and it sits on my like under my coffee table, and it only gets looked at every now and then because it makes me sad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can't look at
But
that all
then
the time.
I also I like looking at those things in memory, like remembering that actually happened.
I almost have like a time limit on when I can look at things. Like I can only look at things from our college program like very infrequently, maybe twice a year. And like I have to be prepared. I know I'm going to be like sobbing and texting and calling you guys. But like I can watch videos of like my very first trip as a kid like anytime, and I'm just like, "Oh, that was so fun."
Yeah, I totally get that. And I think cuz I made that video of us like of all the random clips of random crap that I like filmed on our college program and stuff.
Oh,
And like afterwards and making all
so
that and combining all that
good.
together. Like that was so much fun, but yeah, I can't watch that video very often.
No.
Yeah, every time it pops up on like the Facebook memories, I like watch it once a year when it pops up on those, and I just cry and cry. But it's also like really funny
We're
and really
hilarious.
like, it's good memories. But we're so
And
funny.
all the like videos, right? All the videos like on that Halloween night when like I come home from work and y'all was all dressed up like crazy, and like then Janetta was like sitting in there just like moving her arms, like I can just see her doing it now. Oh my god, it was great.
And film this bitch.
I'm so glad we were recording on that night.
Maybe one day we'll post a clip of that.
Yeah, we should do like a watch us be ridiculous and like get to know us. So you can watch this video.
Oh, yeah, we might. That's a lot.
Yeah.
They might never listen to our podcast again.
So as much as like painful as it is to like look at these like old pictures and videos, it does help me bide the time between like when we are able to see each other next, because we're all spread out like across the country, so it's hard for us to see each other all the time. But so I'm a flight attendant, and I had a layover in Phoenix. And actually, was this on a layover, or I came out to see you?
You came out to see
when
me.
we went to okay, never mind. So one of the times I went out to see Kelly in Arizona, we were just trying to I was thinking of like a way we could beat our Disney blues, because anytime we're together, it kind of comes up that like, oh yeah, we're together, but like we're not together in Disney. So out in Arizona, I figured the next best thing would be to find a Disney store. So she picked me up at the airport, and we went to like the Disney store near closest to the Phoenix airport, and like walked in and like smelled some Disney smells and listened to some Disney music, and it wasn't like being in the parks, but it's probably the next best thing.
Yeah. I just loved it because like you didn't tell me where we were going. You were just like, because I was driving, you were like, just follow this, or like just follow my directions, like we're going here. And I was like, okay. And like we show up at this mall, and I'm like, okay.
What the heck are we doing here? Yeah.
That's how you know it's true friendship, when you're just like, you know what? All right, let's go.
Really planned out that entire weekend to like beat the Disney blues and like a little bit of the Harry Potter blues. So like that was fantastic. Like I think about that.
I think we were both kind of like down in the dumps, and like looking for an excuse to like get happy, and Disney made us happy and Harry Potter makes us happy. And so we went to the Disney store and then went home and had like a Harry Potter marathon, and it was great. Yeah, and like I don't think we spent any money. Like it was just just like walking in the Disney store and being like, "Oh, that toy's fun. I would totally play with that if I were little." Like I don't think either of us bought anything in the store. Maybe a little Tsum
Yeah,
Tsum
I
or
think I got a
something,
Tsum Tsum. But like the entrance to the store was like in the shape of a big Mickey head. So like I was like,
Yeah.
oh. Yeah. So that was really fun.
Also, for those of you who don't know, a lot of these Disney stores have like magic mirrors. That came out maybe like I think like when I was in college, maybe like I don't know, like around our college program, which was in 2011. And they started putting these magic mirrors in their store, and you can tell it's a magic mirror because it's got like this gold or like yellowish trim, and it's like a child's height. And you can take any princess products, any like dress, tiara, like the scepters, and like wave it in front of the mirror, and it interacts with you.
Shut up.
I will not. It's really cool. And it's like, it's Disney magic.
Katie, we missed the opportunity when we went.
Okay, well, my birthday's next week, so I guess we're hitting up a Disney store so I can wave some princess shit in
There
front of the
you
mirror.
go. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so magical.
Yeah. So it's no bippity boppity boutique or whatever, but it's pretty close.
It's good enough when you can't get there.
They know what they're doing. They know people got the Disney blues.
Yeah. Also, Disney store outlets are even better, I think.
That's what the one that we went to was an outlet.
Was it?
Yeah, it's an outlet.
Yeah, that's what we went to in Biloxi.
They usually have a lot of old like parks merchandise for really cheap. Like old like food and wine shirts and like Disney marathon shirts that like they can't sell in the parks anymore. They'll ship out to the outlets, so you can still get Disney parks merchandise.
Yeah. I think
close to home.
When we went, they had stuff for the 60th anniversary for Disneyland. Like they had some of the ear hats and like T-shirts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. I haven't been down there in a while. Like I live kind of in northern Arizona, so it's like a 2-hour trip to get to Phoenix. So I don't visit as much as I want to, but probably I don't visit because I shouldn't, because I'd spend too much money.
I know. It's hard to walk out of there not spending money.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Right.
I definitely need this little ceramic castle.
I need another
Right.
mug.
I have one of those on my shelves. Yeah. So many mugs. They have all the good mugs.
Right.
They really do.
They had one of the poison apple mugs, and I wanted to get it so bad. But I think it was still regular price. Like, it wasn't outlet price. So I was like,
Oh, that's
don't
not
need it
fun.
that bad.
I know when we went to Biloxi a couple, 2 months ago or so, we went into the outlet and Mama was like, "Here, you both get $50." I felt like I was a kid. And she's like, "Here, you both get $50. Get whatever you want."
Shut up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
fantastic.
awesome. And so, like,
Aw.
I found one of the things I got was a Jungle Cruise shirt from Disneyland, and love it. And I was just like, I felt so much like a kid because she's like, "Here,
Oh my gosh, that's
spending
so
allowance."
fun.
So can we go shopping with
great.
Mama?
Yeah, sure. She'd probably give you
Right? Yeah. Let's all go.
But the funny thing is like me and Katie, when we both checked out, we literally got right at $50 on the nose. Like it was like whatever we picked out, we were like maybe like change away from $50.
That's like when you're in the parks and when you're little and like you've saved up your money and your mom's like, okay, you have enough to get like one souvenir, and like you wait like the entire trip to like see everything and pick out
Right.
the best thing. Yeah,
Yep.
that's pretty great.
You spend like 4 hours in World Disney trying
Yeah.
to find the best thing for your money.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
We were clearly all really thrifty kids. I'm like, I can't picture my niece and nephew doing this, but yeah, I can picture all of us as like little kids. Like, well, I can get one mug for $15, or I can get 4 magnets, or I can get 6 pens. Like, I think I always walked out of there with pens.
I still have like my souvenirs from my first trip, which I think was in 1998, and like I think Animal Kingdom had just opened or had not been open that long, and like I was obsessed with tigers when I was little, so I bought one of the there's a like an Animal Kingdom shirt with a tiger on it. Like I got that, and I got a stuffed tiger, and then I got like Goofy dressed up as like a safari guy. Like I still remember vividly, like those were my souvenirs that I had to have from that first trip, and like
That's
yeah,
awesome.
budgeting out like what I wanted exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I still do that when I go. Like,
Yeah. Which it's really easy now because you can look on the Shop Parks app and know exactly how much stuff costs and where to find it and be like, this is what I'm going to get. This is my budget. Like, yeah, that's really cool.
But that app is a blessing and a
Yeah, it is.
curse.
right?
Right.
Because I probably, instead of like waiting to like go on a Disney vacation to buy things, I'm like, oh, let me just check the app.
Yeah.
Let me just look at the app. Like, so let me see what's new. So like I feel like I'm always on these like Disney Parks apps, even when I'm not there, which is maybe or maybe not another way to like bust the Disney blues. And I'm always on the Shop Parks app just to see what's around.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll log into like the My Disney Experience app just to like see what wait times are going for. Sometimes I log into that like new Play app just to, see what's going on, maybe listen to some music.
I haven't downloaded that one yet. I
haven't-
should probably download that.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate that you can't do anything on that unless you're actively in the
That's sad.
parks. I feel like once you go there and you go to the park, you should then be able to play that
Yeah.
game anywhere.
That's true.
That'd be cool. Dear Disney.
Because you would still have to go to Disney,
Mhm.
but like I kind of want to keep playing those games, but I'm not at Disney all the time anymore. Thanks for reminding me, Play app.
I think. Well, I haven't gone into the Disney World one, but I know in Disneyland there are like you can't play the games, but you can do like I think you can do trivia, and you could like listen to like music from like Main Street and
Oh,
stuff.
that's nice. Yeah,
There are
that's
some things.
speaking
nice.
of listening to music, that's another thing is there's like several apps and websites out there that just play like parks music like on loops and like they go through there'll be like an Epcot area and then they'll go into like Main Street. So like you can literally listen to parks music all day, which I used to do that like when I was at work, but not at home because now I just watch VHS movies. But yeah, you can like listen to Main Street or Future World or like stuff from certain countries in Epcot. Like that was really nice. So that was another way to beat them blues.
Yeah, I used to do all my homework in college to like instrumental Disney background music.
Yeah.
I've got a Spotify playlist of Disney World music.
Hey, I'm gonna need you to share that with me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's songs from all the parks, and I've got it set as like I can set it as my alarm to just like randomly shuffle the playlist. So every morning I wake up to a Disney park song. Yesterday, I think I woke up to like Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow. Sometimes I wake up to like the Happy Haunt song.
I didn't know I could do this.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Okay, post podcast, I'm gonna need like we can do this like step by step because like I need to be waking up this way.
Definitely.
Yeah, you really do.
So speaking of being in the parks and just the parks in general, we can also beat Disney blues by offering to plan literally anyone else's trip that is going.
Yeah,
Literally anyone. I don't even have to like them.
I don't even have to have it be a person. I'm like, oh, well, if I was a person who needed my advice planning a trip,
Just email it to yourself.
yeah, let me help this imaginary person.
Or I'd type up like a travel plan for like a 4-day trip to no one just to have it on hand.
Yes, Stephanie, you recently got to pretend like you were going to the parks for the first time for someone. So
I did. One of my dad's friends, who's probably like they're middle-aged. They were just like adults and they had never been to the parks. And so they wanted to go and they'd never been before and literally knew nothing. They were like, yeah, we've never been. So we figured we should go. And my dad asked me, he was like, Steph, you worked there, like you obviously like it, can you just like give them some advice? And I was like, well, he's like, can you give him a call? And I'm like, yeah. But this might be better communicated in like email form because I have a lot to say. So I like typed up this email, like trying to imagine like having never been to the parks, knowing nothing about the parks and realizing like how overwhelming that experience would be, knowing like you don't know how long like you actually want to spend in the parks, if you want to spend one day in each park, if you think you might want to do a park hopper. Like park tickets alone is a whole ordeal. And then realizing that if you've never been before, you probably don't understand fast passes. So if everyone around you in those parks is utilizing the fast pass system and you're not, you're really at a disadvantage. So trying to explain that to someone and like help them realize that like if they wait until they're there, they might not be able to eat at a nice restaurant. Like the restaurants all might be full. So you really want to make a dining reservation ahead of time. It was a lot to kind of take a step back and realize like we do know a lot about Disney. We might not know like the most, and I don't think I stay on up to date on all the news as other people do. But we are pretty good resources, and we know a lot. And it's kind of crazy to think like what it would be like to not know any of this stuff.
Yeah, that's crazy. So the other day, I was at like a Friendsgiving kind of thing, and like I think we all have like this sixth sense for hearing like Disney or Disney World. There was a
So true.
Yeah, there was a conversation like across the room from me, like two people just talking to each other. I was on the other side of the room talking to someone else, and I heard, "Yeah, we're going to Disney World," and like I just kept like I tuned in on that, and I finished my conversation, and I let the other girl finish her conversation, and then like I think like 30 minutes later, I was like around her and I was like, "So I hear you're going to Disney World." It's just like
Disney radar going on.
Radar.
That is so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I feel like I price out like a Disney vacation like at least like once a month, and it breaks my heart.
I did
And then
one
you just
last
get
night.
sad.
Last night I did one.
It breaks my heart every time. So like another way that I
Right.
beat Disney blues is just being mad at Disney for being so expensive. Like
Yeah.
that's where I'm at like this week is like just being mad.
Which honestly, it helps
Yeah.
because most of the time you're just like sad that you're not at Disney. But if you can get mad about it, you're like, no, Disney,
Yeah.
you don't deserve that much money from me. Like, I don't need you. And you can like kind of like you're right. It's a change of emotion. So it's no longer Disney blues, it's Disney anger.
Then you go through like the bargaining stage where you're like, okay, I could eat like ramen noodles
Yeah.
for a month,
Oh my god.
and then like I could go to work more. I could walk to work, and then I could go to Disney.
Yeah, so my husband and I are planning out like this really big like backpacking in Europe trip that we're going to be doing in like 2 years. And I'm like, there's so many other places in the world. Like I don't need to go to Disney. It's so expensive. So like that was like my emotional state. And then I watched the Finding Nemo musical and just I was like, I do need Disney.
Right? Reset. Yeah. It's like, oh, you think you're over
Forget
this
about
breakup?
the rest of the world.
No.
Yeah, so if you're in like the sad state, just get mad. It's probably not the healthiest advice I have, but just gotta do what you gotta do.
But it works. Yeah.
I mean, who needs the rest of the world when you've got Epcot anyway?
You're right.
I need Scotland real bad.
Well, then tell Disney.
Yeah, tell Disney they need a Scotland
Just
pavilion.
for me.
Yep.
And Merida.
Yeah,
Yep.
she'd have a home.
Well, jumping off of like planning non-existent trips that we're not taking, and planning trips for other people who may or may not want our advice, or talking ourselves out of talking trips that we don't have the money to take. Another thing I like to do is plan a trip way too early.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like as soon as you find out that like you might be able to take a trip, it's like the opportunity to like start planning. Well, where should we stay? I mean, we could stay here, here, here. I should do some more research on all of our hotel room options, not just hotel options, but the types of rooms, the types of views I could get. Like, let me just really go into this a little deep. I should check dining. I can't even make dining reservations anymore. Like it's way too soon. It's like a year and a half out. You can't reserve like anything that early, but I should just check. Like I should check all the menus. I should read everything. And like, are there going to be any new rides? Like, do I need to know any, like, it's just so easy to start. No matter how far out you are.
Like, let me go ahead and put this like countdown widget on my phone for like the 500 days I still have. Until
Yeah,
we're gonna be
why not?
500 days away from like 300 days away from a trip. You just got to break it down into like things you can handle.
Mm-hmm.
You can do anything 1 minute at a time, right?
It's just like weird for me this time. Like I have my trip booked like for February, and like I'm not planning anything. I don't know why. I'm just like,
You crazy.
I don't know. Like I know what days we're going where and like, you know, whatever. But like other than that, like I'm really just kind of doing a go with the flow kind of trip. Like, because this is the first time that Josh and I are going alone, and like I'm just not planning anything. I know where we're going, this, that, and the other, but that's it.
That's like my dream is to like go with no plans, but I can't do it. Like if I tried to like not plan stuff out and be like, oh, when we get hungry, we'll just stop somewhere. I'm like, no, I want Flame Tree Barbecue. Like that's where I'm going. Like that's planned. Let's go there at 12. You know, like I try to like not plan things, but I'm still gonna end up planning them because that's part of the excitement. Like I have to make my handwritten like schedule laid out with stickers and all that kind of fun stuff. Like that's just part of the fun for me is like planning all of that.
Mhm.
Stephanie and I went on a trip where we kind of went with the flow.
Yeah, it was weird.
And apparently our eating schedules are off and our peeing schedules. So we spent the whole time eating and peeing.
Yeah, like Katie would eat when she
Right.
was hungry, and I would just kind of sit there like watching her eat. And then like maybe half an hour later, I'd be like, okay, I'm hungry now. And she would just watch me eat. We just ate our way around the parks like for like 4 days straight.
Yeah, we did. It was
It
pretty
was really
fun,
fun because
though.
we'd be like, okay, now what should we do? I don't care. Whatever you want to do. Well, I don't care. Whatever you want to do. And we
I don't know what has the shortest line and
Yeah.
is closest. Oh, okay, let's go do
like,
it.
somehow we still did like every ride in Magic Kingdom by like 4:30 p.m. We were like, what? No. What do we do?
Yeah, right?
It was
Maybe
really weird.
that's the
Maybe.
But we are
secret.
so indecisive as a group that I feel like not planning something is always like we just sit there going, what do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do?
True.
Like,
Yeah, no, it was definitely like much easier with 2 people than it
Yeah.
would have been with 4.
Yeah. Once we started the I don't know, we'd be like, all right, well, I decided last time, it's your turn, and I'll decide the next time.
So when whether I do have a new trip to plan and I feel like I need to do a little research, or I'm in between trips just trying to like latch on to a little bit of Disney, I often find myself listening to podcasts. And when I went on a trip when I was 16, I got to go on a trip for my 16th birthday and just felt like I really needed to like get my money's worth. I started doing like all this research, and I found one of the best sources of information was from Disney podcasts. It's like when podcasts first came out on iTunes. And so I found one about Disney, and it kind of changed my life in the way that I like always like approach Disney vacations, and now it's inspired us to create our own podcast. Some of my favorite ones are ones that offer information and teach me something, but other ones just are ones that are fun and candid. So I think when we set out to do this, we wanted to make this podcast a little bit of a mix of both.
yes.
But yeah, most importantly, help people beat their Disney blues with it.
Because it's helping us.
Yeah. So we hope it
Right.
helps you too. Yeah, so if you have any comments of what you like from other people's Disney podcasts, we would love to hear from you and try to help maybe incorporate that into ours. Since we're just getting started, we're still forming and figuring out who we are.
Yeah. If you have any topics or anything you'd like us to talk about, let us know because we'd always welcome that.
Anything you want to hear to beat your Disney blues, we'd be happy to discuss.
So, Katie, what's your ultimate way to beat Disney blues?
So ultimately, my best way to beat Disney blues is really to not think about it. The more I think about Disney, the more I miss it, and I get into a really bad like Disney blues funk. So I just kind of try to focus on other things and know that like sometime in the future I'll be back. But talking to you guys and doing this podcast has really helped. So I guess I have found a way to beat my Disney blues.
Yeah, so whichever route you take to beat those Disney blues, whether it's filling your home with Disney scents like me, reminiscing on past trips, or just trying your hardest not to think about the parks at all like Katie, we'd love to hear about it, and here's a few ways you can let us know.
You can email us at spillingthemadtea@gmail.com.
Tweet us at SpillingMadTea.
And also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at SpillingTheMadTea.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode, and we'll talk to you all real soon.